007. It's going to Moab, 465 Dead 2 2000s package. I believe we might have our buy run.
Everybody, number one, here we go.
Hey everybody, me again. It's Greg from FTI, the transmission converter guy. Another how-to video today. Going to save you a little bit of aggravation, show you how to fix one more thing on your Power Glide transmission. Today we're going to talk about the good old leaking manual lever arm seal. And I know everybody's seen it. Leaves a puddle of fluid in their trailer, leaves a puddle of fluid in their garage. We're going to show you what we can do to help you to keep your manual lever arm from leaking and how to fix it. Simple couple-minute deal here to show you this video. First of all, these are not new to the world. People don't buy them. A lot of manufacturers don't use them. They're a few extra dollars. What it is, a manual lever arm that has an O-ring on it to seal up inside your worn case. You got to remember these factory cases have been around for a long time. They've had that arm moving back and forth for years and years and years. And it wears out the case. Not to the point that the arm slops around, but the fluid comes by and gets past your manual lever seal, which the shaft is going to go through like so. This O-ring helps seal it in the case. So we're going to go over right quick how to change this manual lever arm, put a new seal in it, and stop that leaking mess in the floor of your trailer. First of all, we're going to take your tranny, get the lever on its back. You can do this in the car as well. I'm going to tell you, this is a clean new tranny, so you're not going to see fluid pouring everywhere. And we're doing this just for instructional use only. You're going to remove your pan off the transmission, get it out of your case. I just have a couple bolts holding this one on to show you. Okay, once your pan is out of the way, we got to get to what's called the rooster. And while we're here, let's go ahead and make two videos out of one. How to change your cracked rooster. These roosters, here's one right here on the bench. These roosters are prone to cracking right here around the bottom. They crack on a regular basis where the bolt goes through the rooster. And when you squeeze it too tight or you over torque that bolt, it'll bust here. Then you get the transmission that you put it in low gear, but it doesn't feel like it's in low gear. You put it in park, you have to move the shifter a little more. Good possibility you have a cracked rooster because this is what moves your manual valve, that peg right there. If this is cracked, it's going to rotate on the pin. In fact, when you put your pin in, you'll see serrations on the rooster. You want to make sure that when you put your manual lever arm in, it lines up with those serrations. And when you tighten it down, they'll all move together. All right, let's change this right quick. You can take the filter out of your way. I'll do it just so you can see a little better. I'm taking it off with electric impact. Please do not put this stuff back together with an impact gun. It's very easy to break these little corners off the valve body. Same with the bolts up here too. I don't mind you taking them out with an impact. Use a speed handle to put it. This is your alignment plate that holds your rooster into your manual valve. First, let's go ahead and get this guy right out of the way. You can leave the bolts right in it so you can keep track of it. All right, we got our plate out of the way. Now, I want you to pay attention to the pin in the manual lever arm rooster and the pin going into the manual valve. It has to ride in this position. I want you to pay attention to that when you take it apart so you know where to put it when you go back together with it. If you don't get it in there, well, then you're going to have problems when you put your transmission back together and it doesn't run. And once you get to this point, you're going to see there are 12-point quarter-inch bolt down here in the bottom, quarter-inch head, or you're going to see one that's going to take an Allen driver socket. This one right here is a 12-point. Please don't take it off with an impact gun. The nut's going to go flying off into the transmission. You don't want to do that. Before you actually get to that bolt, let's go over the spring right here. Let's take this spring off. Either use a pick or a small screwdriver. All you simply do is lift it off this little bracket right here, and that way it keeps the pressure off the rooster. It's going to make it easier to put it. Just simply lift it off of there, unhook it off the rocker arm, and there's your spring. Pay particular attention not to lose that spring as well. Now let's loosen our bolt up. All we got to do is loosen it. It just clamps around that arm. Just loosen it a couple turns there. That's all you got to do. You should be able to hold this rooster and slide your arm out. Sometimes you got to take a little screwdriver, give it a little love, and pop it loose on the arm. While you're working the arm, it slides off there. It is keyed, so therefore it'll come right out. Now, if you'll see, this arm doesn't have an O-ring. These are the ones that are prone to leak. We're using all the ones with the O-rings now. These are also available for purchase. They're very inexpensive to stop a leak in your trailer. Pay particular attention to these flats now when we go back together with it. Once you have your arm out of the case, we're going to go ahead and change this manual lever shaft seal on the outside as well. By changing both together, the seal and putting the O-ring style manual lever arm, you won't have any more leaks. Just simply take a screwdriver, wind it up underneath there, and pop it right out of the case. That's all there is to it, nothing to it. You want to check and make sure there's no garbage or burrs in the case. Take your new seal. It has a lip on it. One side is solid rubber, the other side has metal. The metal side goes out, lip going in. Set your seal there. We use a driver tool to drive it. You can simply use a socket, whatever you have that is the correct diameter for the seal. You don't want to bend the seal, and just gently tap it in there. You don't have to beat it in there. Just simply tap it in there until it bottoms out. Once it bottoms out, look at it. It should be uniform all the way around the seal. In fact, this right here needs a little bit more right on this one side right here. Yep, you heard it bottom out. There you go. Double check that. Make sure you have it all the way bottomed out. Now we're going to install our new pin. You want to put a little bit of grease, Vaseline, oil, anything on your O-ring, and you want to put a little bit at the end of the pin. And that helps when you put it through the seal, you don't cut the seal. Now, back to our rooster on the inside. We had discussed changing this rooster because of a cracked rooster. If you're going to change this rooster on the inside, you have got to pull this entire piece out like so. You won't need to do this unless you're changing the rooster for if it has a crack at the bottom. This one's not cracked. Now to simply put this back in, you have to dive it under the band pin and into the parking mechanism. Okay, so we got the rooster down in there. You have to push down on the parking pawl. You'll see it right below where you took your spring off here. And you push the park rooster through. Once it's through, you'll know that it's through. Everything lines up, and this will go back on there just like it's supposed to. Now we're ready to install the new manual lever arm with our anti-leak O-ring. This is a two-piece arm, so you can take the nut off and move your arm up or down. I just put it down for sakes in this purpose. Once you slide it into the case, be careful not to tear your seal. Don't force it. Once the O-ring picks up the case, you're going to feel some tension. Now, notice I wiggled it until it picked up the serrations in the rooster that we spoke about a few minutes ago. See how it moves the rooster now? It's not all the way through. Bump your O-ring in. Get her coming on in the case. There's two sides to it. Come on in with it. There it goes. It went all the way on. Once it goes all the way on up against the flat, use a speed handle, not an impact gun. Hold it against the flat and tighten your nut. If you have an inch-pound torque wrench, I'd like to see around 110 inch-pounds of torque on this. Just torque it nice and firm. It does not have to be super tight, or again, you're going to break the bottom of the rooster. Now, if you notice, we're not lined up in our manual valve. That's something we have to do. So we need to push our manual valve up. This will move in and out of the case some. Move it in and out of the case so we can get it hooked up to your manual valve and locate the pin back inside the manual valve between these front two lands as seen here. Once you get that back in there, we're good. We need to put our guide plate back on to drive this, make sure this stays in the manual valve. Again, this just sets right on there. The rooster comes through the hole. Move it in accordingly until the bolt holes line up. And once you got your bolts ready, same deal. Torque those down. You don't need to put them in with an impact gun. Once you have your bolts tight, then I want you to come along and put our spring back in. Spring has a hook on each end. Push the roller down against the rooster. Hook it onto the bottom. Again, back to your pick or small screwdriver, and simply lift up on the spring and hook it back into the eyelet. That's all there is to it. Make sure that it stays connected to your manual valve, and you're done. You can go ahead and put your filter and your pan back on. Leaks are gone forever. And that's another addition how you too can keep your tranny from leaking all over the floor of your trailer and being mad at me, the tranny guy. Look up for more videos coming soon on how to with FTI. Thank you.